And a big welcome back to the Ask Coach Gallagher show alongside Greg Gallagher in Spokane, Washington. I'm Dave Erickson. I love this topic, Greg, and a lot of it, I love this because the off season is upon us and people are going to be in the pool working on their swim technique, but you have some swim tools that people can incorporate into their training. Let's kick it off with some swim paddles.
Well, swim paddles are they're used for upper body strength. You got to work on that upper body. That's the most important thing in the swim. You got to be able to be strong in the swim. So there's different paddles are color coded. So say a smaller paddle might be a green paddle. The larger paddle for maybe a collegiate swimmer or a pro triathlete, somebody who has a lot of experience, could be like the red or blue. You kind of got to choose your paddle accordingly to your ability. You don't want to go, hey, I'm going to go get a set of paddles. I have never used them, and jump into a set of red paddles. That will put too much stress on your shoulders, and you'll end up with shoulder injuries, shoulder problems. So choose accordingly. I always favor on, hey, if you're just starting out with them, go with a small set and get used to them and build from there. Right now, I think I'm using a yellow, and that's right about the middle size, a medium size.
And incorporating a paddle workout into your workout, is this something that should be in shorter durations, or can you do a long set with paddles?
Well, when you're first starting out with these, if you haven't used them in the past, start out with short stuff. Start out with, a couple hundred. You can build up. There's one of my sets I do is like a 500 paddle and a 500 pull. You can always go up from there. I've done 1,000 paddle, 1,000. So again, you got to build into it, or you're going to stress your shoulders.
And one thing about these paddles, which I do love paddles, is that in addition to working in your upper body, it helps you with your form, with your entry. When you do your follow through, if your hand's not in the right position, these paddles teach you
what you're doing wrong.
To do it right. Yeah.
Yes, and because paddles have a strap on them. Some of them are strapless. Some of them have a strap. So you have a strap around your finger. I don't use the strap around your wrist. I think that's kind of a cheater thing, because when you get your follow through and you've gone all the way through your stroke and you're pulling your hand out to do your recovery, if you've shortened that stroke, you're going to pull the paddle off your hand when you pull your hand out of the water. So that's a good indicator. If you have that strap on your wrist, then it's not going to work properly. So I like to go one strap around one finger and go from there. Yeah, as you enter in, you can feel the paddle change your hand position, push all the way through and into your recovery.
You mentioned something about sets. One would be a paddle set. You also mentioned pull. What other kind of devices do you have in mind?
Like a pull buoy. Pull buoy is going to take out the you're not going to kick with the pull buoy, so it's going to help your body position. It's going to bring your hips up, and it's going to keep your legs from having to kick, and it's going to totally work on your upper body strength. So you're kind of taking out some of the things you don't want to think about. You don't want to keep thinking about kicking or, my hips high. I'm just going to focus on my upper body and my hand position. So pull buoy is a great tool. And you can combine the two. So you could do a pull buoy without paddles. You can do your paddles, and then you can combine them both so that you use them together.
And this is something you want to be careful about not doing too much of, because I know it's great for keeping your body position higher, but you can get too reliant on just doing pulls.
Yeah. I've been to the pool and seen people swim with a pull buoy the whole entire swim, and that's not teaching your body to have that core strength to keep your hips high in the water. When you use it, you'll get the feel of it, and you'll know what it feels like. So when you take the pull buoy out, you try to simulate that same feel.
What's another swimming tool idea you have in mind?
Another thing to go along with the pull buoy and the paddles is an ankle strap. Now the ankle strap, what that does is it immobilizes your legs during the swim, so you're not kicking. So the less your lower body is working, the more your upper body is working, which then builds the strength. So, and again, if you use that strap, you're not kicking, your hips and your legs will sink, so then you got to engage that core and got to get those legs up, or you'll just be dragging. So it's definitely it's going to work on your upper body strength in your core, and it's an interesting piece of equipment. I use it occasionally. If you have a great core strength, you can use it without a pull buoy. That becomes difficult. You change your stroke a little bit because you have no chance to kick. So, yeah.
So that's 3. We got the paddle, the pull buoy, and ankle strap. Anything else on the list?
Well, the new thing that's came out over the last couple of years is this. They're called sim shorts, and what they are is they're a neoprene short. They're made out of the same material as a wetsuit. They look like a jammer, so they're a little longer, and that's a great tool because you can get those on and off in the pool. So instead of using a pull buoy, you could use those sim shorts. So it's giving your body the position it would be in a wetsuit, so you can practice, let's say, how it would feel swimming in a wetsuit in the pool without having to hold the whole entire suit on. You get a whole entire suit on in the pool, you overheat. So it's a great tool. You can use it instead of the pull buoy, and it's much easier. So if you're using them, you can kick, and if you're doing flip turns, you haven't got to worry about that pull buoy coming out. So the new sim shorts, I've used them a few times. It's something I have in my bag. You find the time and place to use them, and it seems like a great new tool.
And all of these things are, you put them into drills before your normal set, or are these part of it, every part of your workout? Maybe 500 paddle, 500 pull buoy, 500 straps, 500 sim shorts, and then do you maybe do something completely free?
Well, because you could do, let's say you did a 500 pull, a 500 paddle, 500 pull paddle, and then you do a 500 free without anything. So you've worked on your body position, you worked on your some of your entry, and then you try it without anything and see if you can simulate what it actually is supposed to feel like.
It's a good way to feel the difference, isn't it?
Oh, sure, yeah. If you say you swim a 500 with your sim shorts, you're just out swimming, and then you take your swim shorts off and you swim it out. Well, you're going to feel a difference, and that's when you got to say, okay, I got to get my core engaged and get the hips up. So, yeah.
It's one of the most challenging of our 3 sports, isn't it?
It is the most challenging and the most technique, really, because there's so much involved in swimming. So, it's something that you need to spend a good amount of time on in this off season. It's the shortest part of the triathlon, but it's definitely something you need to really focus on.
And final question, how often would you suggest someone be in the pool each week, even if it's for a half hour?
4 times is a great number. You can get in a decent swim. You can do some shorter swims, and then maybe one of them could be a longer swim. But, to keep yourself steady and keep yourself with not losing your technique and really focus on stuff, 4 times a week is really a good idea. If you're a weak swimmer, you do 5 times a week, but maybe your sets are a little bit shorter, so you're not stressing your shoulders out more than you should. But I would say 4 times a week.
Try to keep a minimum there to get a feel for the water. Otherwise, you kind of lose it.
You start to lose it. Yeah, you get out of the water for a couple, 3-4 days, and you get back into it. You're gonna start. Oh well, I'm not feeling the same. So the 4 times is good.
All right, great tips and great ideas. Thank you. If you have a question for Greg, use the hashtag AskCoachGallagher on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. All right, Greg, we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, Dave.